y'all today. And happy to be just celebrating this really beautiful anthology. If at any point you can't hear me, definitely let me know because tech is weird sometimes. But I guess we can, Jillian, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get started. So give me 1 second to get my tech in order. And then we'll get started with the first activity. Mm, so sorry, I have a 2015 Mac and it works on its own time, but I promise it's loading. All right. So, if you have no idea, while I'm waiting on this to load, if you have no context for the event, hey, me and Jillian, are project lead and project assistant of the Winter Storm Project. So the Winter Storm Project is an idea kind of birthed from last year's 2021 Winter Storm Uri. If you were at all in Texas at that time, you know how stressful it was. You know how kind of unprecedented that winter event was, and we really wanted to capture that because a lot of politicians, legislators would like us to probably forget that time, right? But we wanted to fossilize that experience through art. And for a lot of us, me included, art is one of the ways that we process and heal from things, but art is also how we move towards change. And luckily, we talked to folks like the City of Austin Office of Sustainability, which hope that y'all are here, and talk to Austin Mutual Aid, and they seem to be really excited about this project, and got us the funding kind of needed to print these anthologies, work with the really amazing Jazz Bell on the cover for it and the design of it. And we got amazing contributors to contribute to the anthology. We have everything from poetry and essays and photography, drawings. It's just really beautiful, and really kind of like knocked us out of the water with the kind of art that we saw. And each contributor got $40 for their time. We know it's not like life-changing money, but it was really important to us, me and Jillian, as artists, and the editors who really gave us their time to like look through these submissions with us. It was really important to us that we be able to pay all of the artists that were in this anthology. So really excited to be talking about it with y'all, and really excited for y'all to be here. So first things first, because my computer is finally acting right, let's do a, a land acknowledgement. So a land acknowledgement, if you have no context, is just, a way to honor the land that we all stay on. All of the land in the U.S. And elsewhere is stolen land, right? And specifically is where me and Jillian reside. Right now, I'm actually in Fort Worth, Texas, and we want to just also, like fossilize the experiences of Native American Indigenous folk as the native like caretakers of the land that we live, work, study, learn, fossilize our experiences on. And I want to specifically acknowledge the Kwahili Khan, Karizo, Comanche folks as the original inhabitants of the land that I work, study, and learn on, which is Austin, Texas. So now, and like if anyone in the chat is ever interested in like looking up what native land you might be on, and like what also like Native American Indigenous folks, still do like organizing in your area, I definitely would look up native-land.ca. That is the most kind of all-encompassing resource that I have been able to find. So cool. Let's now move to grounding exercise. And Jillian, I know you wanted to lead us in that. So.
Thanks, KB. Yay, and so excited to be here. I did, while KB was talking, just want to copies are out on their way, but I've been shipping them this week, so I did want to just kind of show everybody. Here's our physical little anthology. Um, so yes, I am going to lead us in a little grounding exercise. I am actually going to, since I don't trust myself to be the most grounded, I'm gonna have us do a little 5-minute YouTube video. I'm gonna share my screen, just kind of get us centered and present. So one moment while I get our tech to catch up. Let's see. Okay. Hope everyone can see, but if not, feel free to close your eyes. I'm going to go ahead and start us off.
Welcome. Find a comfortable seat, sitting in a chair or on the ground. Gently close your eyes and relax. And place your feet firmly against the ground so that the bottoms of your feet touch the ground. If you're wearing shoes or sandals or socks and you're able to remove them, do so, and you get a better connection to the ground beneath your feet. Let your arms and hands rest comfortably on your lap, just relaxed. Wiggle your fingers a bit just to release tension, and let your hands and arms rest. Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. And another one, inhale and exhale. Bring your attention to your feet and to the ground. Feel the ground firmly against your feet, pressing against them and supporting you, holding you, spreading the roots through your feet all the way through your body, giving you strength and radiating calm and grounding throughout your body. Move your thoughts from your feet up through your legs and your thighs, through your torso, all the way to your heart. Feel your heart beating rhythmically, peacefully, calmly, pulsating throughout your body. Move your focus to your breath, its natural rhythm of inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Notice if there is any tension anywhere, any little catches, maybe at the top of the inhale or at the bottom of the exhale. Just notice and let it dissolve. With each breath, you feel it dissolving and the tension releasing and the stress fading away as you are firmly rooted to the ground and supported by the ground. Bring your awareness to your fingers and ever so gently start to bring a tiny bit of movement to your fingers, just a little gentle movement. You feel how the ground is connecting all the way to your fingers, and your fingers are like the branches and the leaves of a tree, gently moving in the breeze. You are connected to the ground. Bring more movement to your hands. Rotate your wrists. Gentle, peaceful, calm movements that extend now all the way to your elbows. Straighten your arms and rotate them and breathe. You are the tree grounded that just gently moves in the breeze. Inhale and exhale. And let your arms and hands come back and rest on your lap again. And slowly, when you are ready, open your eyes very slowly. There is no rush. Inhale and exhale. And once your eyes are fully open, you are ready for the rest of the day ahead with radiating, grounding energy throughout your body. Inhale and exhale.
Right, welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone's feeling super relaxed and present. And thanks again for coming out. I'm gonna hand it back over to KB.
Awesome. Thanks Julie, for that grounding exercise. I really appreciate it. So now actually we'll get into the contributor readings and performances, I promise. But first, I want to hear from any editors that might be here. So we had 3 amazing editors for the Winter Storm Project Anthology. They were Zoe Faye Stint, Gabby Benitez, and also Sweetco. So if y'all are in the audience, I'd love to hear just like a short hello. And Jillian, sorry, if you want to support with getting them on the screen, I appreciate that.
Can y'all hear and see me? I don't think I've done this on Crowdcast before. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, just saying hi. I'm Gabby, she, her pronouns. Thanks all for coming. It's been such a pleasure and a joy and so healing, I think, honestly, to work on this project. And yay, Zoe's up here with me. Yeah, I don't know. It's been so incredible, I think, to just hear everyone's stories and to also see all the phenomenal art that's come through, especially after, just like the trauma of the storm and feeling so like kind of isolated and like unresolved in that. I think as an editor, it's really just felt like such a privilege to kind of witness other folks and their experiences. So thank you all contributors and folks who are here. But yeah, I'll pass it to you, Zoe, if you have things to add.
Can you hear me, Gabby?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, totally ditto to everything you said. I feel like privilege is the right word for getting to gather voices in this way. And this is just the exact kind of art collaboration that I want to see in the world. It just felt like such a communal gathering is the word I keep returning to over and over, but a chorus and just seeing everyone bring their experience to light in this way was, whew, yeah, I still feel kind of bowled over by all of it. I feel really grateful. Yeah.
I fully agree. KB and Jillian, anything else?
Yes, and we are grateful to y'all. I mean, like y'all's kind of curation of this was really like I was talking to Jillian like super early in this to be like it can't just be us. Like I'd love to have vantage points that are not ours on this experience because we do know that this was something that was not just like Austin specific. This was like, you know, Texas wide, right? And though, you know, we have our constraints to Austin and our context in Austin, it was really amazing. I know Gabby is like just very well versed in like kind of environmental like studies and the environmental background. And I know Zoe, like literally you're in school right now kind of for things that like have that mesh of art in the environment and writing in the environment, and are just like a really well, both of y'all really amazing writers and artists in your own right. So I appreciate y'all, and I also appreciate Sweetco, who is not here, but also has this amazing kind of like cultural aspect that they brought to our editorial conversations, and also like does all of this kind of like textile stuff that I wish I could do with like art making. So yeah, just wanted to have y'all speak, and you know, super happy to see y'all today.
And let's see more of these collaborations across Texas because this is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that they continue, and fingers crossed that we're, you know, able to have other things. I see in the chat that some folks are having some technical difficulties, but let's maybe look into that. But otherwise, like, appreciate y'all. And so the next thing that we will move on to now is our sponsors and beneficiaries. Thank you, Gabby and Zoe. So now we will hear, if you don't know already, right, all proceeds for the Winter Storm Project are going to 3 amazing organizations. Those organizations are BASTA, that do, you know, a lot of housing support and BIPOC support in the local Texas area. I would say just Central Texas as a whole. Java, Austin, Vamos, Austin, and Poder, which I could give super large intros for those organizations, but I figured it would be cool to hear from them specifically. And so far, I just want to give y'all a super like update that just happened maybe 15 minutes ago. We hit the kind of like $100 threshold. So I believe like $110 because of the anthology sales has went to like each individual organization like as of this morning. So thank y'all. It very much like makes a difference to buy this anthology because all of the money is going directly like to each of these organizations. But yeah, I will stop talking and let Michelle, who is from GAVA, just speak a little bit.
Hi, everybody. I was going to say good morning, but it's a good afternoon, I think. My name is Michelle Mejia, and I am the early childhood organizer with Go Austin, Vamos Austin. And thank you for this incredible work. The Winter Storm was a very hard time for a lot of the people that we work with. We're a place-based organization that works in Austin, organizes and mobilizes community power to reduce barriers to health while increasing capacity to respond to the people most impacted by historic inequities. So I guess that's kind of like the mission or vision kind of statement for our organization. But the winter storm was historic, and it really did impact a lot of the families that we're trying to organize with. And it was traumatic for us as organizers, but traumatic for a lot of the people that are our residents, right? And so it's healing to be in this space with y'all, to hear that there was art and storytelling curated by y'all. And so I just really appreciate that, because I think as organizers, a lot of the times we're caught up in the like fight, right? Or the issue. And I think that there's not a lot of time to like celebrate and reflect on our experiences, right? And so I work with families and children and childcare providers, and they've been impacted by the pandemic and the winter storm. And so I think that being here kind of points me in that direction, right, of wanting to create joy and create art with them too, right, as we organize and mobilize towards better things and more community spaces. So I just want to thank you all. I hope that made sense. And this is my first crowdcast, so this is really cool. Thank you. And I don't know how to go off screen.
We got you. Okay. And now Alexia from Poder is going to say a couple of words.
Hi, can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry, I had like a little bit of trouble. I was trying to figure this out on my laptop and then I switched to my phone. But my name is Alexia. I use she, they pronouns. I'm an organizer with Poder. We're an environmental justice nonprofit based in East Austin. And we've started 30 years ago to fight some of the polluting industry like the tank farm and Holly Power Plant that was there, and work on a variety of social environmental justice issues. Based in East Austin. And I think, like everyone has said, the storm was a very traumatic experience for all of us. Just to be, there without water, without electricity. But, we're trying to coordinate resources to help our neighbor and help our community. And, it's like, obviously there's nothing positive about that, but it's always great to see, people coming together, because I think at the end of the day, like, community, that's where power is. And we have to rely on each other and on ourselves to take care of ourselves and to create the change that we want to see in the world that we want to live in. And so, I'm really happy to see people getting involved in mutual aid, people getting involved in organizing, and people continuing those efforts to help their community and help their neighbors. And again, art is such an important part of movements, of communities, of joy, of processing. So I'm really thankful for this project. And yeah, thank you for the support. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alexia from Poder. We really appreciate y'all, being open to working with us on this. So now I believe we will hear from Mincho from Basta. Jillian, if you can get Mincho on the screen.
Sadly, it looks like we're without Mincho today. So I'm going to go ahead and link to Basta's website as well here. And they're, just to like give my 2 cents on it, they're a really awesome Austin-based org that helps with tenants' rights, which, as we know, during the winter storm, there was a lot going on, and continues to be even without natural disasters. So they're a really great and important org that I would love to share the resources for, and I'm so glad that we get to support. So yay to Basta, we're sending them love.
Yes, they're very busy people, all 3 of these organizations. So appreciate y'all for, just getting to know some folks from these organizations. So now, without further ado, 30 minutes in, we're right on time. We're now going to go into our performances. So we will have a couple of performances from people actually in the anthology, and helps to, celebrate their inclusion in our anthology, and also, in hopes that you're like, wow, that was so amazing. I'm going to go buy the anthology now. I'll buy one for a friend. I'll buy one for myself. I'll buy one for my dog, read it to the dog while they're sleeping. We want all of those things to happen. So yeah, let's get into the performances. First is going to be Frank Kim. Frank, let's get you on the screen.
Let's see. Looks like I'm going to be bringing people up. So looks like we might be missing Frank, sadly, today. I would love to, though, since he did give us permission to share, try and get his actual submission on the page for y'all. So one sec, because he entered a really beautiful photograph. We had some really awesome photo entries, I just want to say, and just like in general, a lot of amazing submissions. So let me go ahead and find Frank's Even the Spirits Are Cold. We're gonna zoom in a little here. Okay. Let's see if it'll let me. Okay, here we go, friends. Sharing my entire screen. Okay, so I can't see y'all since we're sharing my whole screen, but here is Frank Kim's Even the Spirits Are Cold. And
It's beautiful picture.
I'll stop sharing. It is a beautiful picture. I love that name too.
Yes.
Yeah, and let me go ahead and see who we had on our list. Next we had Jessica Heinkappy. I hope I am saying that correctly. Let's see if you're here. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and send you invite. Hi, Jessica. All right, I can hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. It's just so great to be here with y'all. And it's Hinkapi, but you were really close, Jillian. And yeah, it's just really great to be here. I got my poem up. Let me see. I was really interested. I'm from South Florida, like Miami area, and I grew up with hurricanes. So when I moved, I've been in Austin for 10 years, and this was the first time I'd ever had anything in Austin close to like a natural disaster in Florida. And yeah, I've always been interested in like when people say something's over, right? But yet the kind of aftermath that we kind of encounter daily, and the idea that like, is anything ever really over? So that's kind of where my poem came from. So thanks y'all for being here with me today, and I'm gonna read this. All right. So the title of the poem is called Afterward. Afterward. Everyone said it was over when the water was no longer a trickle, when the neighborhood homes had tiny lights on in their living rooms. But damage is invasive and daily. The university sends notices asking us to keep an eye out as the snow clears and save any frozen birds we find in bags, as it's rare to get whole ones preserved so perfectly for study. Most of the special Texas species, like robins and jays, become bloated by heat and rotten with worm. So I suppose the cold had done some good for science. I get other emails from people in other parts of the country ready for work, wondering where those contracts are I was supposed to send on Monday. How to say I spent a week in my home filled with friends, but it was no celebration. Our bodies hurried under blankets, making sure we could no longer see the shape of the dog's breath forming in front of his nose. Months later, the front yard cacti still droop. Brian tells me this is because their cells froze and exploded the limbs from the inside. There is no reviving them. And the whole time it was snowing, I kept thinking of the documentary I watched years ago on ghosts. How they interviewed survivors of the Hoku tsunami in Japan, people who swore they saw their missing loved ones for months afterward. But perhaps what's harder to believe, when the tsunami was finally over and the city submerged, the skies went dark with pressure, making it so cold it actually started to snow. Tiny flakes falling on the wet and wounded, still hanging on. Thanks, y'all. So that was my poem Afterward. And I just, again, thank you everyone, KB, Jillian, the whole team. Like, this was really great. I think poetry and all art is about witness. So thanks for giving us a place to share what we witnessed.
Yes, so much love to you, Jessica. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being in our anthology. Really amazing reading. And that is just one of all of the cool readings that we have and cool performances that we have lined up for you. So, next, without further ado, we are going to call Lori Filippelli. Let me know if I said your last name wrong. Names are important. But would love it if you came to the virtual stage.
They are making their way to the virtual stage. Sounds like we might be having a little tech difficulty on their end. Here, Lori, I am going to send you another request. We'll just cancel that old one. Hopefully that'll help. And thanks for all y'all's patience. This is our first event on Crowdcast, and I don't know that it would matter if we were on a different platform, but still appreciate it. Yay!
Hey, I found you.
Yay. Hand it over to you.
Thank you all. It's so wonderful to be here. I had two poems, and inspired by the last poem about aftermath, I thought I'd read one too about kind of the feelings of the ongoing trauma from an event like this, and how it lives with us and sneaks up on us, and how it feels months and months later sometimes. Both of my poems were called Letter from Texas. So this is one of them. Letter from Texas. Some days sunlight pours through me. My voice whisks with dust, silent as a name no one says anymore. The memory of storm, weight around my waist, an anchor. I call 311. I am out, I am home, I am running low, a click and hush. I'd like to speak with someone. I'd like to be represented. And again, I dig in and take one for the team. As a girl, I'd keep watch, droplets merging down slowly, then all at once, I could read the rain. Now, the weather has grown rich and strange. I report an outage. I report my mom shivering in her bed. My voice long ago in an after all place where I thought she could keep us warm. Thank you.
Woo, woo. If this was a crowd, you would hear all of the things, but people are giving you love in the chat. Thank you so much. Again, really jaw-dropping work in this anthology. And that is only two out of the amazing folks that we have lined up. Okay. I'm realizing that I definitely should have asked like name pronunciation before this event. I'm just like publicly saying that to be like, we will do better next time. Because names are important. But the next person that we have is Niku Huitel. I don't know how to pronounce it all the way, but definitely like let us know, and then it will be in here. But let's get you up on the virtual stage. Jillian, work all of the back end magic.
We are working on it. They're also known as Tay, and I think that's the name you're gonna see on screen for them today. Yep, they are working on connecting, and I think they have some. I'm very excited to hear from them today, as I am for all of us, all of these artists. I'm just like, we gotta pretend they're doing the shuffle to the stage IRL.
Oh, mood music. What's the
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I could only think of like the Jeopardy theme or something.
Yes, that's literally what I was about to do.
Yes, and that feels too.
It's like a 3-hour loop of that on YouTube, and like sometimes when I really just need background music, I will play that. But I won't put y'all through that. Tay, let's see. Do you need to resend it or oh no? Are they good?
Let's see. Well, they are trying. I see that
Okay.
they have accepted and they're connecting.
Ooh.
And yeah, Tay, let us know if you need me to resend.
I wish I could beatbox and like also make the sound at the same time. It would be cool. But
Oh, okay. They made a comment. Thank you, Noor.
Oh no. So that they need help.
Okay.
The request should pop up on your screen.
I see.
But if you're doing it from a phone, it may not. Yikes.
I see. No, I'm on I see. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see. I might also, Tay, go ahead and still just try canceling the request that I made to you and send you one more. And then I'm thinking if we're still having a little issue after that, we can always circle back. But let's go ahead and try again. Feel free to shout out song waiting music suggestions in the comments bar. Dealing.
Let's see what my head. Look for it. Went to high school, didn't do great. Feel like I gotta make more cash. More education is what I'm looking at. When I get a degree, I will make a bigger salary. So now I got to see which college is right for me. I went on the internet and found education connection. I took a free test to find out my direction. Taking my classes online, getting my degree on my own time. Education connection match me with the right college for free. Get connected for free with Education Connection. Get connected for free with Education Connection. That was the first thing that came to my head, and I really can't explain why. But I appreciate y'all's y'all's patience. Yeah, maybe circle back today in a little bit. But sorry about that. I don't know why that's happening. But our next person actually Jessica said in the chat that it was really cool, our design, and our design was done by this performer. So we reached out to this person because we were like, hey, we think that your whole thing is dope. you have nice words, you have nice design principles. We like it all of a sudden. Um, and I'm really, really excited to have Jazz Bell here with us. So Jazz, let's send it in. Jazz, get them up on the screen. Yeah, core memory of my childhood. I could not forget that.
Hello, can you hear me? Wait, am I? Okay, yes. Hello. Hi, hi is everyone? How is everyone? Thank you for nice design principles. Thank you. So wait, really quick, should I read first or should I talk about design things first?
Do whatever feels good for you.
Whatever feels right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will read then. I actually have a copy of the book, so I'm going to read it from the book because I am very excited about it. Okay, wait. Boom, 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 boom. So, this book was so cool to design. And also, like, it's really cool to see all of like the names of like people in the chat because I was like working on people's pieces and was just, crying all the time because y'all are really good at it. And so it's just really cool to be here. So I'm gonna read this one. I actually submitted to the Winter Storm project before they started hiring a designer. And so I knew about the Winter Storm project through there because I was like, oh, I love poetry. Let me submit this poem. So this one is called Texas Snowstorms, 2021. It's almost funny, the regrets I had. Silly me, having an electric stove, only having 2 flashlights as the second one flickered dead in my partner's hand. The car was our only source of heat, though it could not carry us away. Our phones were our only thread to the ones we love, though they could not stay lit for long without sipping from the cord by the gear shift. A and R, northern born and ready, dropped off food for us. I thought we could stay, but my body did not acquiesce. I tried to force it quiet, but it spasmed, faded in and out, clenched, shook, gasped. Between nightmares, C messaged me for company. K called me with promises of warmth below the river. J helped us find 4-wheel drive. I admit I thought of canceling. There is a sickness now, and I am already too sick to release caution. But there is a kind of cold where you can't feel texture. I didn't know this and neglected to buy gloves, so I held my breath on the way to K. I couldn't feel the warmth at first, not until I ate a hot meal. D accidentally left the window open. I cried from the pain. Ooh, I can't hear y'all, so I'm just gonna snap for myself for the the completeness. So yeah, I think thank y'all. I think that right now I can talk about the design thing. Is that right, or should I wait until later to talk about the design thing?
Yes, absolutely. Talk to us about the design principles of the zine.
So
or
no, you're good. The cold does hurt. I'm like the texture line. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so. Thank you all. I was drawn to this project because one, I was in the winter storm, right? Like I think a lot of the people who, like everyone who submitted something, right, was obviously impacted in some way. And so that drew me to it. Just like seeing how, just like how much I guess like government neglect there was, and also how much people really came together to make sure that we were okay, right? Like we made sure that we were taken care of, right? It was like community groups, it was mutual aid, it was friends checking in on each other, neighbors checking in on each other. And so in the cover, I, chatted with KB and Jillian about what kinds of things they were looking for in design. And they, they gave me sort of like a color scheme, right? Like browns and greens and blues, stuff like that. that's more natural. And so the cover, in case you haven't seen it yet, I think everyone has, because it's on the Instagram, but I wanted to sort of like, originally we actually had the gradient flipped, right, where the blue was down here. It was actually Jillian's idea to make the like orange, the warm colors like more towards the center. And I think that I really liked that call too, because I think it sort of, while this like, you know, it kind of looks eerie, it still sort of feels hopeful. Like there's still like you know, like there's still like hope for the warmth that we can bring each other. And also having the tree just like, I don't know, there was something just, I think, and you know, y'all probably understand this, but that time was such a liminal space. And so I wanted to really like capture that sort of like liminal space, kind of like surreal feeling in the cover. And in like doing the different designs in here, like some of them, I did do that. Thank you. Some of the designs in here were just like some of the poems, right? Like, you know, I like to do poetry and design, right? So some of the poems, I was like, oh, it would be really cool if I designed it this way. So like, for example, like one of the things is an erasure poem. So the design of it in the book kind of like looks like it was erased out, right? And so it was really cool to work on a project where like, as a poet and a artist and designer, right, I felt like some of those things came together really well. And yeah, so I'm like, I hope y'all like it. And if my last question I have on here is like, where and how can people hire me to design in the future? If you want to hire me, you can. I have a website that I'll drop in the chat, and you can find all my social media stuff through there too. And I just want to express how much like working on this project was like incredibly like important for me, like reading it, especially like, you know, as someone who was disabled in the storm, and reading how many of the submissions like mentioned pain or body or disability was really impactful and felt really validating for my experience. And then just seeing like some of the like art pieces, there were a couple art pieces where I saw them, I just cried because I was like in a good way, you know, everything trauma, but also validation, right? And so I don't know, just want to express how much working on this project was just incredible. So I really hope that people are able to order the anthology. And I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jazz, for being here and sharing your beautiful piece and working with us on this anthology. Really, we wouldn't have had it any other way. So, really want to thank you for like, you know, I feel like the designer of the like cover like gives, you know, also another layer of meaning. So I'm very happy to have you meaning making with us. And we are about 8 minutes away. May go over just a little bit, but I promise not too much. Yay! Tay is here. So I will have Tay do their piece, and we have about 4 more people that are going to be doing individual pieces, and then we'll be out.
Okay, let me just grab the. Okay, yay! It finally worked. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm trying to think what I want to say. I have my little amethyst heart with me. It was like really interesting to like try to write this piece because I had like just so many, just an arrayment of like emotions, and also just like, I don't know, it was really weird for me to write it because I felt like, yeah, it was traumatic, but it was like, oh, well, like, at least I got saved. Like, you know, the other people had worse. Like, I heard so many horror stories. But, oh my God, it is the month of Amethyst. You're right. Yeah, it was just really interesting to write this. And I can't wait to hear everybody else's. I might show y'all some art later on, but for now, I want to tell y'all about this piece. It's a little bit edited from what's already like printed out, but that's okay. Cool. All right, so I called this one Quicksand. Okay. Before, I felt like a sitting duck. I felt alone. I felt trapped. I felt like any minute that me or someone I knew was going to be next. I woke up the next morning to a hole above my bed and a puddle forming around my feet. I felt disgusted after seeing the rusty water droplets coming from different parts of my room resembling old blood. I felt panicked as bubbles formed above me, growing bigger as more water filled the pipes. I felt like time was running out. Each time I ran into my room to grab more of my things, the ceiling started coming downwards. I wasn't going to get everything out, and now it was time to pick what gets saved. I felt bitter that the pipes that burst were only above my room. I felt angry towards my apartment complex, who didn't answer my calls or emails until days later, who forgot to leave the water dripping upstairs in the vacant room in the first place. I felt panic as I was trying to escape with my things before my roommate got there, which is another story I won't get into. I felt relieved as I knew I was being rescued. I felt trapped because, once again, I was in my childhood room, not knowing when I was going to be able to leave my hometown, falling back into that state of helplessness and depressed. After the storm, I felt relief once I found a new place. I felt lucky knowing so many people that helped me. I felt so much hope watching everyone give everything they could to help. I felt a loss for the materials that I clung on to that I would never see again. I felt guiltiness for pitying myself when I was able to make it out. I felt disgust towards our state. I felt tired of going online and seeing other states saying that we deserved it. I felt angry towards my apartment complex for lying about not overcharging my last rent. I feel anxious now because I know it's going to happen again. Should I be sad still about being trapped when I was rescued? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tay. I'm so happy that we were able to get you on screen. Beautiful, beautiful work, and I appreciate you, for being vulnerable with us, and appreciate you also for weathering the issues with tech. But big love, not small love, huge love to you. Thank you. And now we are in our last bit of performances. So let's get into it. Noor, where are you? Let's bring you to the stage. Snap, snap, snaps. And snap, 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 snaps. If y'all want me to sing another commercial, I will, but if not, I will also just leave. Um, but amazing. So excited to see you. Woo!
Hey everybody, my name is Noor. I use she, her pronouns, and my piece is a little bit long, so I'll try to be quick. It's called Icebreaker, and I wasn't planning on writing anything actually for the anthology, but one day in October, like 3 a.m, I opened up my notes app, and then this is what came out. So this is called Icebreaker. The ship of Theseus is an old philosophical question about a docked ship kept as a museum piece. Over the course of a century, the rotted pieces of the ship were removed and replaced until none of the original pieces remained. In the end, was it the same ship or a completely different ship? It's a cute icebreaker question, useful for the inevitable lull in conversations at work with coworkers you barely know or trust. It usually allows you to avoid probing questions into your personal life, forcing a healthy work-life balance. 17 years ago, parts of your bone and cartilage started to rot. Over time, repairs were done, and now you're 15% metal and ceramic. Neat. There's a whole traumatic backstory. At this point, though, if you have to tell one more person about the backlog of shit you went through, you're afraid you'll start pulling your teeth out one by one, just for something new to talk about. You learn to strategically navigate the question, are you 100% you or 85%? In February of 2021, you do all the right things. You spam your Instagram with mutual aid links, text every Texas resident in your contacts, bring food to a neighbor, and check in on the old lady next door. She's fine. Someone got there first, and you're a little upset you didn't get to feed your savior complex. You invite some friends to stay in your home, and you're terrified. It's pre-vaccine, and inviting contagious death is a gamble while you're actively being murdered by the Texas government's inefficiencies. You spend the next 3 days hunkering down together. You poorly preserve your phone battery, as you cyberbully the Zodiac killer, and fill your apartment with CO2 because you have zero survival skills and use cardboard for firewood. The day before the electricity rolls back on, you read that Texas was a split-second decision away from a months-long blackout. You imagine a mass exodus of the state. No gas, shelter, or medicine would be accessible for at least a month. Millions might die on top of the millions dying. You know who would be the first ones to die. COVID taught you that. They look and move and talk like you and your community. In this imaginary fun land you've created for yourself, where Texas residents become refugees by the millions, you imagine that you would be forced to quit your job or be laid off. During the last year of isolation, you've come to rely on the imaginings of your world, played out in scenarios that live exclusively in your mind. You begin to wonder which option you would prefer: freezing to death, surrounded by your friends, pets, and gas station food rations, or going back to work. On the one hand, you'd be dead. But on the other hand, if you went back to work, you were pretty convinced that you'd die anyway, piece by piece. It doesn't even strike you as odd that the prospect of going back to work could be worse than a deadly catastrophe. These feelings stop shattering your heart somewhere after postponing your wedding, but before the insurrection at the Capitol, right around the time your ears were replaced with a Zoom headset and your tongue with a never-ending apology and preparation of your performance review, forcing the question again, are you still you? You haven't admitted, not even to yourself, until now for someone else's reading pleasure, that you didn't want the storm to end. Even though it was a suffering, at least a 9 out of 10 on the suffering scale, like none you'd experienced before. Of course you were angry, just like everyone else. Of course you were scared, just like everyone else. Of course you were in physical and inescapable pain, just like so many other disabled people stuck or left behind. Still, you wished for more days like this, wished for another opportunity to disappear into the chaos, away from your desk job and the knee-jerk reaction you have to flinch every time you're addressed. You wished for the freedom to stop existing without having to die, to freeze solid and halt the rapid change of yourself that you endure just to survive. So desperate for an out that if it wasn't for the fact that getting COVID and dying would mean spreading it to the people you love, you'd have licked your groceries clean instead of drowning them in bleach. Aware of your own ridiculousness, you didn't spend any real mental energy entertaining the idea, just in case your selfishness accidentally manifested your shitty desires. In your isolated imagination, you believed there was capacity for some sort of compromise, though. You envisioned a conference with Mother Nature and begged her to let everyone else go, to leave you behind in this cold, bright space. During your visit, you showed her how your skin had fused with your weighted blanket, refusing to lose its shelter. Your body already adapted to this catastrophic world. Why not stay? But alas, after a decade's worth of winter, you wake up to your husband and your friends cheering. The heat kicked back on, and the coffee was brewing. The ice began to thaw. 8 months later, Austin dropped back down to 50 degrees, and the smell of the intense chill hit you again. All at once, you felt the heat of the red flames in your fireplace. You shielded your eyes against the abrasive bright light reflecting off the snowy ground in your memories. You witnessed, Once again, the calls of anguish from the mile-long lines for HEB, an apocalyptic flavor you've grown accustomed to. And God said, for every disaster I bring upon man, let there be lines for basic necessities, long as hell. You have some pictures from those few days of sheltering with friends. Your favorite is of every candle ever gifted to you lit in the middle of a living room. Though surprisingly unable to mask the smell of the cold, it's a gentle scene. Another is of your 6'2" friend with the booming voice of an anime villain, cuddling with his disabled chihuahua. His girlfriend and your husband are playing cards on the coffee table. You, off camera, holding in a violent scream as your arthritic bones fuse together from the cold. If you didn't know any better, these pictures would be regarded as beautiful memories. You vividly recall thinking about how lovely it was to wake up surrounded by friends, the extra bright light reflecting off the pale ground outside, illuminating their sleepy faces. It's vaguely reminiscent of the first 2 weeks of COVID, when all we were expected to do was take care of ourselves and each other. These were the first friends you'd had over in almost a year, and you didn't get to enjoy it. You didn't even take your masks off. You chose to not put those deceptively happy-looking pictures on Instagram because, people suffered. But you look at them from time to time and let the shiver in your spine remind you that it was a romantic view of a deadly situation. This, at least, helps you cope with the loss. The Monday after the madness, you take a walk in short sleeves and sunglasses. You're being obviously gaslit by the earth as you try to convince yourself it really happened. The time away from reality has solidified your understanding of what is expected of you. You can no longer take vacations from yourself. No more compromises or imaginary scenarios. The chaotic scream you held in for the last 3 days dissolved your insides, leaving you vulnerable to the nerves growing at your core in anticipation of the staff meeting. In your disillusionment, you pick up rocks as you walk, filling your pockets as far as they'll stretch. Somewhere between Whataburger and your apartment, you stop to vomit up all your dissolved organs. It takes a while, but you get the job done. You spend the rest of the walk consuming the rocks you've collected, replacing the emptiness with something more solid and infallible. They make your insides unshakable in a way you've never been before. With this foreign anchor inside of you, you finally let go of yourself. You are now able to survive the inevitable catastrophe that will come next. Resting your hand on your belly, you are comforted by the hardness and click, join meeting. It's your turn to lead the icebreaker this week. That's the story. There's some pictures that will accompany it in the anthology, but thanks, y'all.
Woo! Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And y'all, I want to recognize that we are a little bit over time, but it's three amazing folks that still have yet to go. If you please if you have time, stay for just like another 10 minutes. I would appreciate that. As you can see, really amazing stuff in the anthology. Definitely click the order link below. If you are interested in ordering, we would really appreciate it. And again, 100% of proceeds goes equally to Basta, Poder, Austin, and Go Austin, Vamos, Austin. So really appreciate y'all. But next person up is Tina. Tina, please come to the virtual stage. Yes, Drew, we understand. Thank y'all. Oh no, settings issues. Okay.
How about, Tina, would it be okay if I think we had a couple other people? Can we circle back after? Since it sounds like it might take a moment to fix.
Yeah, let's maybe do that.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, next performer is Katrina. Katrina, are you here? Cool.
Katrina is here. but looks like she is not alive. So it's not giving me the option to add. I'm not sure how to change that on my end. So Katrina, if you want to give us a shout, I am not sure. Let's see. The Greg Abbott haunting. How to make you go live. That is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look into that, and we'll go to Sean for now if we can. We're batting 2 for 3. Fingers crossed.
Fast forward. Yeah, that probably is it.
Thanks, Jazz. So Katrina, if you could fast forward. Sounds like you might just have a lag.
Mhm.
And that's why it's not registering you as live.
Perfect.
Oh, 1 of 3. Hey, y'all. I know we are over time, so I will be quick on this. My name is Sean, and this is a poem. It actually has photos with it in the book, but I was here in Austin in the storm, and so took some photos as it progressed and wrote a short little poem to go with that. So here it is. 1. Before the storm. There were reports, talk of snow in exclamation points, and we prepped the same as always, which is to say, not much. And when the first dusting came, we went into the night to explore, like adventurers, with cozy warm homes and lights still on the horizon. First day, morning. We woke to a blanket, chilly, yes, but still cozy, and that sky, cool blue and almost cloudless. We reveled in rooftop drifts, and oh, that sky, the pure blue of friendly ice. First day afternoon. Playtime. Bundling and trundling. No power, no problem. It will be back soon. For now, let's toast. Let's ride the roads like waves. No problem. Why would you think otherwise? Third day. Over time, ice is not friendly. Over time, ice takes hold. I have to traverse 3 blocks from my building to a bridge to get even 1 bar of service. I tell friends and family I'm okay. Friends in New York City tell me of Hurricane Sandy, of how they learned 1 lesson. 4 days. A city can survive power for 4 days without power. Days 1 through 3.5. The lesson I have learned is not 4 days. The lesson I have learned is how progress can stretch too thin. How we assume there will always be Wi-Fi, or at least a cell signal. Why would you think otherwise? What is happening? To find out, you must bundle up, put on a camping headlight, and journey into the pitch dark at noon. It is like a zombie movie, I think to myself, which would be kind of funny, but this is just quiet. Day 5. After the power was back, we all took stock. Some took the little extra they had and put it out to help others. Love thy neighbor, you know? After the power at the Capitol failed to. Day 6. I wonder if things will change, if there will be lessons learned. Just wait a few days, please, our apartment building manager pleaded. Please wait to put your trash until the garbage trucks can get back on schedule. They did not. I wonder if things will change, if we'll learn to support each other better, or all this will get buried too, if we'll just go back to worshiping the same powers that be. Thank you. And buy the anthology. It's a great anthology.
Woo! Thank you so much, Sean, for being here. Just 2 more folks, y'all. Katrina, I saw you left and came back. Let's hope that figures out the issue. Jillian, can we send another invite to Katrina as well as Tina in hopes that both of them can join?
Yes, I went ahead and sent one to Tina since I think she was originally for Katrina. She is working on accepting now. And yay. And thanks, Sean. As we're waiting, I definitely felt that the play aspect too that was happening before we realized it was gonna be a while. All right, as Tina is working on accepting. Oh no, sounds like Tina's having trouble again. So let's see. Katrina, we're gonna go. And thanks to everyone. Bye, Valeria.
Okay, is this working? Everybody can see me? Okay. Awesome. I'm seeing yes in the chat. All right, let me adjust this. My name's K-Train, or Katrina Black, and for my submission, I wrote a song called Breadlines in the Freezing. No, it's called Fuck You ERCOT, parentheses, Breadlines in the Freezing Cold. I wrote it actually during the freeze, and I couldn't even play it on my piano, but because it's electronic, so I had to like use it in my head, I guess. And it was fun to like have power and then be able to play it. So anyway, yeah, just if y'all remember the crazy lines at HEB, that's what this song is inspired by. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sing it because I think it speaks for itself. So. Oh wait, can I do a quick sound check in the chat? I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna play at the same time. Can you let me know if my piano or my voice is like too loud, and then I'll adjust it. La 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 la. How's the balance? Okay. All right. Breadlines in the freezing cold. 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 My parents told me when the snake does things for me, everything will just fall apart. Cause without an incentive for profit margin, there won't be many choices at the mini mart. Leading to breadlines in the freezing cold. Like in Russia, breadlines in the freezing cold. So deregulate the state, because capitalism is great. Don't provide basic necessities, otherwise people will become lazy. Food, water, electricity. Strong will survive, but not the weak. But here I am in this capitalist wasteland, waiting for the lights to turn on, cause a private company did what they wanted and didn't give a fuck about anyone. So now there's breadlines in the freezing cold, because all the grocery stores are closed. And we're the only state in the union to have an energy system completely deregulated from federal oversight, so we can do whatever we want without being told. And the water is not potable. And I'm boiling snow on my stove. And all the major roads are closed. And there's bread lines in the freezing cold. But if we had a social safety net, we could have avoided a lot of this mess. So make the grids public and vote out the bastards, and maybe we can avoid another disaster. Oh, bread lines in the freezing cold. In Texas, bread lines in the freezing cold. In capitalism, bread lines in the freezing cold. In a deregulated system, bread lines in the freezing cold. Fuck this.
I'm like, iconic. Honestly, put it in a bag, sell it. Needs to be everywhere. I'm like, if you are into TikTok, put it on TikTok or you post it. Well,
Someone needs to show me how to use it.
That was great. That was awesome. Amazing. And thank you so much for submitting it to our anthology. And like Ian said, instead, this will be just like available on our website super soon. And probably this week actually. And we will like repost it on our social medias. If you don't have us on social media, it is Winter Storm Project. Last call for Tina. If we can figure that out, that would be amazing. But if not, oh yeah, okay, Tina, I appreciate that because I'm like, this is a great. Honestly, well, I appreciate y'all so much for coming out, and especially appreciate the folks that contributed to the anthology, editors, Jillian, who has definitely like just kept me sane in multiple ways, and all of the audience. Like I appreciate all of y'all for being here, and please tell everyone about the anthology. Every single dollar that we get is going back into the community in hopes that if the government will not save us, at least like we can take care of each other. So I appreciate y'all for being here and try to have a good rest of your Sundays. Bye. So long, farewell. I see halfway goodbye. The sun is up, and so must I. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.